Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you today with some boxing news, and this is True Boxing. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So the news today that I want to discuss is the possibility and the likelihood now of Mr. Danny Garcia moving up to 154 pounds to make a name for himself. He also said he wanted a rematch with Keith Thurman at the new weight. Not sure if that's going to happen for him, if that's possible or not. But the fact that he wants to move up to 154, I think definitely warrants an opinion because, it is a big deal. And I actually do like it. I don't mind it. Danny, I think, has established, and I think it's pretty clear now that we can see that, I think it's pretty clear that we can see that Danny is not going to is not going to do much more at welterweight. There's other big fights. So in a way, I'm kind of surprised that Danny is moving up, but because there are other big fights out there for him. But, is he really going to be able to achieve the top of the division? And I just don't see it. Now, there's a couple good things. Okay, let's look at the negatives about moving up to 154 first off. I really believe the only negative, probably the biggest one, well, there's two. One, not as many big fights there in terms of money fights. But Danny is a good, solid name. The other thing is he's going to be undersized at 154. I don't think he's going to be a big 154-pounder, super welterweight. That's 7 extra pounds. I didn't think he was the biggest welterweight, but he was average size for a welterweight. So, is he going to be able to compete being a little bit undersized? And my honest opinion now is I think he will be able to compete. Will he be able to take over the division? That's another thing. We don't know. There are good fighters at 154, but the talent pool is not as deep as it is at 147. 147, talent-wise, is the best division in boxing right now. It's running neck and neck with heavyweight, but to be up there on that level is a big deal. So, let's not, be fooled by, that right there. But, and then the other thing that works out for Danny at 154 is that it's a PBC-controlled division. Pretty much the top 10 right now, outside of Patrick Teixeira, who's way at the back now, it's a PBC division. It is. It's completely controlled by the PBC. 147 and 154 is just, loaded. I'd say you have maybe one or two guys between the 20 guys that accumulate the top 10 that are not with the PBC. So, Danny, there are a lot of big fights for him. If Jermell Charlo hangs around, Danny Garcia is a great name for him. Arizlan De Lara. Ryan Castano now has made a name for himself. Julian J. Rock Williams, Tony Harrison. There's just a lot of good name fighters. Now, will Danny be willing to fight all of them? Probably not. He probably wants to get into title contention and look at, he's calling out Keith Thurman at 154. Whether he gets Thurman in the ring or not, 154 I don't think is a bad move for Danny Garcia. I think we've seen what he can do at 147. Let's be honest, he got worked against Errol Spence. Errol Spence is at the top of the division, so is Terrence Crawford. That's a fight that can't be made right now. Does he want a rematch with Sean Porter, who beat him narrowly, but beat him? Does he want to fight Keith Thurman at 147? Manny Pacquiao's on his way out the door. There's just a lot of fights that don't seem realistic right now that Danny could get of all the big fights at 147. So, I can't fault Danny for wanting to achieve glory in a third weight class. Try to become a 3-division world champion. He's later in his career now. So, this is going to be, he's going to try to put a stamp and become a 3-division world champion. Maybe he can take over 154. Jermell Charlo, we don't know how long he's got left at 154. He might be making his jump to 160 at some point. This division looks like it's on the verge of being wide open because Charlo and Castaño are trying to make a fight with each other. After that, will the winner move up to 160 and compete at middleweight? I think it's very possible. So Danny Garcia has opportunities here, and he's a good boxer, and he can hit. Now, can he carry that power up? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But I've seen guys that I expected to have less power move up in weight and do good things and great things. And I think as long as Danny's not completely outsized against some of these guys, I definitely think he can compete at 154. And I don't think it's a bad move for him in his career, where he's at in his career right now. Coming off that loss at 147, I don't think it's a bad idea to move up and try to explore a third weight class and see if he could do some damage there. So that's the news on Danny Garcia moving to 154 pounds, super welterweight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.